Well, let's speak to Olof Blomqvist, who is an Asia-Pacific researcher from Amnesty International. Olof, good to have you with us. Now, I know that you have been in Bangladesh, you have visited these camps, you've seen the Rohingya people. Can you describe for us some of the things that you've seen and heard, what kind of condition they're in?
Well, there's no question that there's a humanitarian catastrophe looming on the Bangladeshi side of the border. You're talking about almost 400,000 people who have crossed in little less than 3 weeks. This is already one of the poorest parts of Bangladesh, where it hosted about 400,000 refugees for several decades. So the fact that the refugee population has almost doubled is a huge strain on the resources that are there. It's absolute chaos in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. You have tens of thousands of people line up along the streets. Aid groups are working heroically, but they have very, very limited resources. Bangladesh needs much more international help, and there needs to be absolutely no restrictions put on aid groups in accessing people who are fleeing persecution and violence and horrific abuse and just trying to save their lives to get into Bangladesh.
Some analysts have been saying that the international community has turned a blind eye, perhaps because they don't want to undermine Aung San Suu Kyi. But we know the UN Security Council is now due to hold an emergency meeting on the violence on Wednesday. Are you hopeful that something will change, that more pressure will be brought to bear to try to end the violence against the Rohingya?
I think any international pressure is more than welcome at this stage. I think what we need to see is an end to the violations inside Myanmar as soon as possible. It's clear that this is an orchestrated campaign led by the Myanmar military to essentially drive Rohingya out of their country by any means necessary. We're talking about killings, we're talking about burnings of whole villages. When we were in Bangladesh, we even uncovered evidence that the Myanmar military had mined sections of the border, essentially in what appeared to be an effort to prevent Rohingya from coming back into the country from Bangladesh. So it's really a catalogue of horrors here. It's clear that there's no domestic pressure on the government, on either the military or on the political wing, being led by Aung San Suu Kyi. So we really need a much tougher international response to end the violence as soon as possible.
Olof, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts there. Good to hear from you. Amnesty International's Olof Blomqvist there.